Welcome to the AACS Daily News. On Friday, Senator Ed Markey kicked off a campaign tour in Attleboro as he continues his bid for re-election. Mr. Markey is being challenged for the Senate seat by Congressman Joe Kennedy. He spoke on a number of issues including COVID-19 and the economic distress facing cities and towns in Massachusetts and across the country.
Attleboro is a place where I talk constantly to the mayor about the needs of Attleboro, about need for community development, block grant funding for the schools, funding for all of the needs of this community. But in that, all the same kind of funding needs that are there for every other community in the state of Massachusetts. And so we're going to be doing this, kicking it off, and continuing throughout the course of the campaign.
I was really happy to see that this was a first stop. This is, my hometown, and he could have chosen 350 other communities, cities or towns in Massachusetts, but he chose Attleboro, and I think that speaks volumes. I think that's really good of him to stop here in Attleboro. We're a very kind of middle of the road community. We're politically diverse. We are economically diverse, religiously diverse, ethnically diverse. It's a very diverse community, but the work that Ed's been doing has really been of the benefit of basically everybody in the city. So Ed was up for, Senator Markey was up for re-election this year. I endorsed Senator Markey when he was a U.S. representative back in 2014. So he served one term as U.S. Senator, and I think he's done a fine job, an excellent job as our U.S. Senator. He's, as I talked about in my speech, he's provided to Attleboro specifically with his advocacy and some of the projects he's done. Some of these go beyond just Attleboro. Some of them also work for the rest of the state. But we have a good U.S. Senator, and he has done some really good work down in Washington. Has been a real leader on some important issues and issues that are important to me, two of which, the Green New Deal, for example, cleaner, greener Attleboro, Massachusetts, United States and world is important to me. Also, nuclear non-proliferation. Ed is an expert in that.
Yeah, well, the campaign's going great. We have a lot of momentum. There is grassroots support all across the Commonwealth, all 351 cities and towns. We won the Democratic State Convention overwhelmingly in terms of the delegates, more than 70% to 30% differential against my opponent. We outraised my opponent in the last quarter, but in every city and town, we can feel the energy. We can feel the momentum which is building, and I think we're on a route to a victory on primary night.
Ed has come to Attleboro numerous times. He's got, as a senator, he's got 351 communities all over the state to visit on a regular basis. That's tough. He can't be here as much as we'd like to see, but that's because, like I said, he's got 351 cities and towns to represent as a U.S. Senator. But he has been here. The work he's doing is, shown here in Attleboro, and I talked about that with my remarks. And I just thank him for that, and I'd like to see him return to the U.S. Senate for a second term.